Ponyo is designed in a way that the audience watching it doesn't realize how Sosuke is entering into a weird contract with a creepy creature. But why does Sosuke bind himself to this contract that says he must love the mermaid, Ponyo, forever and should always protect her? Here's Miyazaki's answer. He said, because Sosuke is a kid. Let me explain. He says adults can never promise such a thing. Even if they do, they'll never be able to keep that promise. Some may ask, so what happens to a kid when he grows up? Miyazaki's answer is unequivocal. A kid grows up to be a foolish adult. Without exception, all kids grow up to be dull. Foolish adults. That's why kids are amazing. That's Miyazaki's top classic logic, you see. He says Sosuke is still a kid. He hasn't become this foolish adult yet, and that's why he can promise he'll love Ponyo forever and will always protect her. Only a kid would make such a reckless promise, and only a kid would actually try to keep it. Miyazaki says Sosuke will be in deep trouble for the rest of his life. Ha 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 ha! You can actually see him laughing out loud as he makes the comment in this documentary called The Work of Hayao Miyazaki. It was on NHK's documentary series, The Professionals. He bursts into laughter saying, there are some hardships in store for Sosuke. Ha 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 ha. So, according to Miyazaki, Sosuke is screwed. Then, why does Miyazaki say that the movie has a happy ending, even though Sosuke binds himself into trouble? You see, I find it really interesting, or rather scary, I guess. So, for Miyazaki, all women are scary. It's not just Grandma Mare. And her antenna is not the scary part. No, Grandma Mare is scary because she's a woman. And for Miyazaki, all women are like Grandma Mare, scary, incomprehensible, but at the same time, strong and beautiful. Once you fall in love with a woman, you will be at her mercy for the rest of your life. That's how Miyazaki expresses his view on women in this movie. Now, take a look at this scene. Lisa is having a conversation with Grandma Mare, but what they're talking about isn't revealed to the audience because they're so far away. This scene struck me as very strange. Because why include this scene at all if we can't know what they're saying? Why not cut it out? But this scene goes on forever and its lengthiness is specified in the storyboard as well. Which would only mean that Miyazaki wants us to imagine what they're discussing, even if we can't hear them. Towards the end of the movie, Sosuke's town is hit by a huge tsunami and is submerged, but for some reason, everybody's alive and well. Everything seems so peaceful, and even Sosuke's father's ship safely comes back to the port. The ship came back in one piece thanks to Grandma Mare. In their secret conversation, Grandma Mare probably offers Lisa a deal. I will give you back your husband in exchange for your son Sosuke. This character, Lisa, well, she's a type of woman that cares more about a fight with her husband than preparing a meal for her son. She likes to drive recklessly even when her son is in the car. She also makes him call her by her name Lisa rather than mom. So, of all the women that appear in Miyazaki's films, Lisa is one of the least motherly figures, to the point that it even seems a little unnatural. She's depicted as more of a woman than a mother. So, Grandma Mare secretly proposes to Lisa, I will give you back your husband, but in return, you must give me your son. But don't worry, I'm not going to take him away from you. You just need to accept the condition of my daughter Ponyo living with Sosuke under your roof from now on. I actually think Lisa would see this as a fair deal. Of course, this conversation is hidden from the audience, but Miyazaki wanted to at least show us these women were up to something. He's sending us a warning. Women's private conversations always lead to men's misery. So that's what's happening in this strange scene. It's not just Grandma Mare who's strong and scary and beautiful, but so are Lisa and Ponyo, and women in general. That's the theme. All women are strong and scary and beautiful. Once you fall in love with a woman, you can't fight her. You break your back for her because you're madly in love with her. But once you become useless, she'll probably dump you or absorb you. Fujimoto knows this. That's why he always has bags under his eyes. In fact, all adult men have bags under their eyes, just like Fujimoto. He's perfectly aware of his fate, as seen by these bags. Sosuke, on the other hand, is still clueless about his fate. That's why he seems so pure and lively. Having shown all that, the movie ends abruptly. Sosuke and Ponyo kiss and boom, the end. They live happily ever after, and the end credits roll in with this upbeat, jolly song. Ponyo, 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 fishy in the sea. Tiny little fishy, who could you really be? Just like that, the movie ends!